Morning, everyone. We're going to start off today with a little lighter touch. Back in 1999, we had these crazy computers running around on ICC, and they were just sort of getting off the ground. Now, they they won a lot of games because they had high ratings, right? It wasn't like relative to other computers like today. It was relative to the humans. So they were chalking up points. Well, but like I said in other videos, they had some major glitches back then. This thing's rating on ICC was 2906. It's called Sicilian Night. And we had to put it to sleep. A little rockabye baby. So, what the hell was going on with these machines? And, it's funny to see the evolution from there to where we are now. Kind of unbelievable. Because look at this game. I mean, it really sucks. I mean, the computer really sucks. I don't know how it got so many points. Okay, this is all pretty normal. It's essential to, well, I wouldn't call it essential, but it is a good method to, when your opponent is putting all the pawns on dark squares, to take the light squares. So BB7 makes a lot of sense. Normally, I wouldn't play such a slow, closed way with white, but against the computers, it was a good method to build and then like let them implode. So I just did some sort of triangle system and build the position, make sure it doesn't get bishop a6 to trade the light bishop. Knight c6, this is a big blunder already. Well, I wouldn't call it a whole blunder, but it's like half a blunder. You got to play c5. The modern way is c5 or bb7. What is the knight doing on c6? It sort of doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I mean, maybe there's one variation if black is considering rook e8 with bishop f8 to go e5, but this is already a little exotic and unusual. Um, so we just develop and continue. When the moves are odd, you still have to win. It's like playing fish in poker. Like, yeah, the moves are strange; they don't make any sense, but you still have to beat them. It's not so easy, right? And I don't know who said it, but like it's not enough to be a good player. You still have to play good, right? You don't you have to find the holes. So although we know this isn't a hyper modern way, it's still a way. Um, so we take the center. I think it's very traditional. Take the center. You go a4, maybe some rook e1, knight f1, knight g3 stuff. Um, or a4, like happens in the game, you'll see. Okay, immediately we stop the knight from coming to f4. Of course, we don't want to lose our light bishop. And now to gain some space on the queen side, prevent any expansion over there. I think a big portion of my attack is going to come from e5s. A6, rook e1 sort of makes sense. b5. And now it's important to identify the route to the promised land. We're heading to Xanadu. So we don't want to let the guy start trading everything. Even though take, take on a8, take, queen takes, knight a3. But then it gets b4, starting to trade more pieces. I'd rather just play knight a3. And if it wants to play ba, that's probably a positional error. It's going to have, I just get to go knight c2. I'll take back on a4, and then a6 will be weak. You'll probably have to play a5. Then the b5 square becomes weak. One way or another, is getting weaker. So we go knight a3, and knight here. And this is a nice route. Knight c4, knight a3, knight c2, knight e3. With e5, if I'm able to get in knight e3 without allowing knight f4, then the knight will come to g4. That will be tremendous expansion. To have the bishop on c1, the bishop on d3, the knight on g4, everything aiming at the king. So I will have to play g3, which is a little odd because if you're going to go e5, and combine 93 with G3, you understand you're weakening the like diagonal, and there should be some counterplay. So BC, knight A5. Now look at these knights. I mean, you're rarely ever going to see modern computer with a position like this, especially at this time of day. It's early in the morning. Rook B1. This is good. I was already thinking that if I'm going E5 and I'm going to get all this business on the king side, that potentially um, this bishop need not exist anymore, right? I will crucify this bishop. Is it legal to say that? Bishop A4, E5, G6, and G3. This is a really important move. Perhaps I should have asked you. Again, we understand that the plan, especially now that G6 exists, there's a massive hole on H6. I just have to swing this knight on G4 and put her on H6, and the king is going to be in big, big trouble. Remember, the bishop can't really go back to F8 to defend itself because then a bishop appears on G5. This is squares. Our computer doesn't care. Computer just wants pawns. Material by any means necessary to take everything. So we follow through with the plan. And we follow through with the plan. And this whole thing is sort of glued together very well. The whole system ended up working out. BB7. Well, what on what does it want? What does it want in this way? Maybe to bring back a knight, but it would have to go rook B8 first. Yeah, this whole thing is H4. Obviously, I want to put knight on G5 and go after the F7 pawn. Double attack F7. If it has to give away the dark bishop, well, then the whole thing is toast. I mean, it's already toast. DE here, and going for a little tomato with tomato. As we said before, this is all irrelevant. We're just giving away the rook because the rook doesn't do anything and the bishop does everything. So we give this away. We take this, and now the final countdown. The mathematics around G6 are such that it can't be defended, right? So we take once, and we attack, and unfortunately, the machine it is just over. I suppose this game wasn't particularly grand, of course, and this was another funny thing. In the end, they like to give away everything just to stop mate. So we take, come back, take, pin, check, and mate. But okay. There's not a lot to say here other than the cool thing is how much the computers have evolved. And I don't know how they were winning so many games back then, but they really did quite well. I mean, 2906. So this game, it just played like shit. And I followed some simple rules. Centralize, take right, bring all the pieces in the middle. Take advantage of some tactical issues, abuse the space, and everything works out when you sort of follow the rules. If your opponent is breaking all the rules, there should be a way to get him. And in this game, we got him. All right. Yeah, just a strange game all around. Okay. We're gonna wake up and we'll try to get some. We're gonna get some fresh air. We're gonna go to the cafe, have some matcha tea, and run around. And then maybe I'll show them more like a modern game. The next game will be against Modern Machine. All right, y'all. Thanks.